Hey there. Yeah, a long time no see. Well, I'm back to filming again, and forgive the hair. I'm having a frizz day, and yeah, this is frizz. This is with Olaplex and Moroccan oil and just about anything else you can put on it. But I wanted to let you know where I've been and what I've been doing, and I thought we'd do a get ready with me so I could let you know why I just sort of disappeared from YouTube for a while. Before we go any further, I'm going to urge you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with anyone who you think might be interested in beauty, lifestyle, and all kinds of good things like that for those of us over 50. Well, it all started back in April, my disappearance from YouTube. By the way, I'm starting off with my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, Pore Filling Primer. But I had noticed there was something going on that was kind of funky with my eyesight in my left eye. And it was like somebody had taken a piece of black construction paper or something and put a half moon over my eye. I could only see, but I could see the half moon. I couldn't see anything through it. I couldn't get it to go away no matter how much I blinked. At first I thought it was one of my contacts. I thought, man, I have got something all over my contact. And at the end of the night, when I took my contact off, it was still there. So I knew that I had a problem that needed to be seen. And what was really weird about it is, like, if I was in a dark room, my eyesight completely vanished because that dark black shadow on my eye turned into a bright white, like somebody was shining a spotlight right in my eye. I could not see anything, not out of this eye, and I couldn't close it to make that bright light go away because it was in my eye. So I made an appointment with my eye doctor. Took a couple of days to get in. I was just wandering around trying not to fall over things in the dark because I literally couldn't see. Now, it would go away. The bright light would go away after I had been in a dark room for a while, but I still had the shadow that I could not see through. So anyway, I went to my eye doctor and he looked, and then he said words that you never want to hear your eye doctor say. Ooh, that's not good. I thought, yay, that's not good. It turned out what I had was a partially detached retina in this eye. And I mean, even just a couple of years ago, when you heard the word detached retina, it meant blindness, you know? But he told me, my eye doctor did, that there was a fantastic retina surgeon based in Memphis. And not only was this guy a fantastic retina surgeon, by the way, this is P. Louise eyeshadow primer, he was world renowned. In fact, he had pioneered the surgery that needed to be done on my eye. I mean, he's the one that came up with it. He's written textbooks. People come to him from all over the world to Memphis to have him operate on their eyes. So my eye doctor said, so are you ready to go to Memphis? And I said, sure, when? He said, right now. This minute, you need to go. I was like, right now? He said, right now. So while his staff, color corrector, while his staff was making the arrangements with the Charles Retina Institute in Memphis, I texted both of my daughters who live in Memphis, and I told them that I was going to have emergency eye surgery and I would probably need a place to stay for at least one night, maybe two. They both said, no problem, we'll get you taken care of. In fact, my granddaughter, who was 16 at the time, graciously offered me the use of her bedroom, said she would sleep on an air mattress in the living room. I thought that was really sweet. My other daughter said, you know, if I needed an alternate place to stay, I could stay at her apartment, although she does live on the 3rd floor. And really, none of us had any idea what my eyesight would be like once my surgery had been completed. I did not know the scope of the surgery. I didn't know what he would be doing. I was in the dark, literally. So I contacted my husband and I told him, I said, please take off work, meet me at home. We're going to Memphis, I gotta have surgery. Oh, and my foundation today is the RCMA Liquid Foundation. This is in N130. You know, I'm really glad that Tati Westbrook is back on YouTube, but she is not good for my wallet because I bought this on her recommendation. I have not used it yet. Ooh, it's liquidy, but we're going to give it a shot. Use it with this flat brush, which needs to be clean, but will do. Anyway, so my husband drove me to Memphis. Ooh. Ooh, y'all, I like this. It smells funny. No, it's not the brush either. I know it's dirty, but shade match isn't too bad. Maybe a little bit light. This is nice. Anyway, my husband drove me to Memphis. The people at the Retina Institute had told me just, you know, get there whenever you can. We'll get you in. So it was late in the afternoon when I got there. I saw several people who did some preliminary checking on my eyes and stuff, and I was scared because, like I said, even just a few years ago when anybody said detached retina, it meant you were going to be blind. But I finally got into a room where Dr. Charles himself came in. I need another pump of this. And y'all, when I tell you that as soon as he walked in the room, my apprehension just completely disappeared. He was so confident. He was so calming. He was just, I don't know. I mean, I was still nervous, don't get me wrong, but being scared was gone. He looked me over, he checked out my eye, and he said, I have done, I think he said 40,000 of these operations over the years. And that's when he told me that he was the one that pioneered the surgery that he would be doing. And he said he had an over 90% success rate. So that made me feel really good. And then he kind of patted me on the shoulder, told me not to worry, told me he'd see me the next day. So my surgery was scheduled for the following afternoon. My husband left Memphis to go back home because we have dogs and we had not had time to arrange boarding or anything like that for them. So he came back home and I went home to my oldest daughter's house. And I got to thank her husband because it didn't even faze him that all of a sudden mother-in-law turned up and she had to take off work the next day to drive me to my surgery and all of that. And they just, you know, kind of acted like it was no big deal. And I'm really grateful to them for doing that. Okay, I think I've about done all I can with this. I like this foundation. This is nice. All right, good. So my surgery was the next day. My daughter drove me down there. The bad thing is, you know, of course, nothing to eat, nothing to drink. And my surgery, I wasn't supposed to be there until like 12:30. So me without coffee, my daughter, who was quite aware of this, let me sleep as long as she could. I mean, I got woke up by the kids getting ready to go to school and all that, but not a big deal. Went back to sleep. But we headed downtown to where the surgery was going to take place. It was at another Retina Institute. I can't remember the name of it now. I didn't get back to my surgery until 3:30 that afternoon. But once I got back there, I mean, everybody was so sweet. I gotta tell you, everyone at this place was absolutely amazing. So calming and so helpful. But anyway, they took me back, took my daughter's cell phone number, validated her parking, told her that, you know, they'd let her know when I was done. The thing that really surprised me the most was all I had to do was take off my t-shirt and put my hair up in a hairnet thing. Y'all, I didn't even have to take off my shoes. I had eye surgery while wearing my tie-dye tennis shoes. That was a big surprise to me right there. Anesthetist came in, checked me out a little bit, and told me that he would be giving me something to kind of relax me. They put the IV in my arm, and major props to the woman who did that because she got it on the first try, and that never happens with me. I didn't even feel the needle going in. That's how good she was. Then the anesthetist gave me something that, yeah, it helped me relax. I lay there and I thought, okay, y'all can just do whatever you want to my eye. I feel good. The next thing I know, they're wheeling me down the hall with my shoes and my jeans and my bra and everything. And it's like, okay. And it was, all I can really remember about where I had my surgery done, it was a small room, like a consultation room. But it was completely full of equipment. Dr. Hay was in there. Dr. Hay, I had seen him briefly the day before at the Retina Institute. So he greeted me, told me, you know, we're going to be doing this, this, and this, and we'll get started here in just a minute. And all I can figure out is that they gave me something through my IV that completely knocked me out, because I remember nothing after that. Oh, Anastasia contour palette. And I know they did that, I'm sure, to deaden my eye, because I've heard from other doctors when my husband had his cataract surgery that the deadening of the eye is one of the most uncomfortable things that can possibly happen. So they put me out for that. And then they brought me back to full consciousness. I mean, I was still happy from whatever it was that they had put in my IV in the first place, but they had put a drape over my face that I couldn't see anything. I had this eye closed, and it was like I was just lying there on the pillow with both of my eyes closed, with kind of like I was taking a nap or something, or just dozing. I was fully conscious the entire time. I could feel Dr. Hay and his assistant, you know, touching the skin around my eye a little bit, but that was about it. There was no pain. There was no tugging. There was no really awareness that they were doing anything to my eye. And it seemed really weird to be awake. I mean, loopy, but awake while someone's operating on your eye. After Dr. Hay had been working on my eye for a little bit, I heard Dr. Charles come into the room. He greeted me, and I even remember telling him, I said, "Good afternoon, Dr. Charles." Then I'm pretty sure that he did whatever it was that he does on the eyes, the main part of the retina surgery. But again, even though I was completely conscious, I didn't feel anything. I could hear them kind of talking to each other, discussing things. I'm not aware of really any actual things that they said. Just knew that they were conversing, doing the surgery. And it seemed like no time at all had passed before Dr. Charles said, "All right, you're done. I'll see you in the morning." I thought, dang, okay. Dr. Hay did a few other things. They took the drape off of my face, which that was kind of weird to realize then that it had been stuck onto me with adhesive. They put a big, huge, you know, dressing over my eye. Called my daughter. She came and got me, and I was finally able to get some coffee, which I very desperately needed at that time. She knew where all the Starbucks were in Memphis, so she took me to Starbucks and got me coffee. And thank the Lord they still had some banana nut bread, flour powder. So I actually got some caffeine and some food into me, which was desperately needed at that time. And then she took me home. The only, what I would call bad part of the whole thing is the instructions they gave me post-op, which was that for the next 10 days, I was going to have to keep my head down like that, because they had put a bubble of, I think, nitrous something in my eye, and it was not to be allowed to press back against my eyeball. Like if I laid back, it would press. I had to keep my head down so it would float down. Then my daughter drives a very small car. They took one look at it and told me I was not allowed to ride in the front seat of her car. By Terry. If, God forbid, the airbags went off, it would hit me in the face and would blind me. Yay. So my daughter, you know, kind of turned into my Uber driver. It was not easy to try to sleep like that. I sleep on my back, and they informed me that that was the absolute worst thing I could possibly do, was to sleep on my back. My daughter went and got one of the travel pillows, you know, the little U-shaped things that you take with you on an airplane, put around your neck. They laid it flat down on my granddaughter's bed, and that's where I put my face down, you know, kind of like when you're having a massage. Okay, I'm going to be using the Lustre palette from Alter Ego. It is a dupe for a Pat McGrath palette. I can't remember which one now. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen, but it's the first time I've used this, so we'll see how it goes. So I listened to a true crime podcast with my teenage granddaughter while keeping my head down. My daughter, I love her, and she is absolutely amazing, but she immediately turned into Nurse Ratched, which is what I needed. because I'm not proud of it, but I tend to take post-operative instructions as a list of suggestions. She takes them as gospel law, which they should be. So, I mean, every 5 seconds she was looking at me and saying, keep your head down. Keep your head down. And by the end of that first evening, when I finally decided I was going to have to go to sleep to get away from everything, my neck and shoulders were killing me. I felt nothing on my eye. It was completely fine. It was my neck and shoulders that were the problem because of keeping my head down. My appointment the next morning was rather early, so my daughter and I got up. Luckily, I could have coffee. I was well caffeinated when I went for my follow-up appointment. They took the dressing off, and I couldn't see anything, but my daughter was sitting over to my side. And when they took the dressing off, I looked over at her, and she just kind of had this look on her face, and she said, well, hey there, demon. They finally gave me a mirror. Y'all, my eye, the entire white of my eye was bright crimson blood red, and then I had this green iris staring out of it. My pupil was still dilated from the day before, so I mean, just look at the eye by itself, that was frightening to me, and I knew it was my eye. So that was a very weird, odd sensation, is to have a demon eye. Wow, this is pigmented. This shade is called Opaque, by the way. But they looked at me. They said I was doing fine. Everything looked good. They prescribed some drops that I would need to put in my eye 4 times a day until they ran out, and then they would see me in a couple of weeks. So went and got the drops, went and got some Chick-fil-A, went and saw my youngest daughter at her restaurant for a second, and we didn't go in because I didn't want to freak anybody out with my demon eye. She came out to the street and saw us. The street was blocked off. Her liquor distributor was there making a delivery anyway, so it's not like we blocked traffic in downtown Memphis or anything. The liquor truck had already done that. And then my daughter took me home every 5 minutes saying, keep your head down. Was I really good about keeping my head down the entire 2 weeks? No. I did pretty well though. There were times where my neck and my shoulders just absolutely couldn't stand it anymore, and I had to, give it this. However, I did pretty good, not sleeping on my back, had some pillows up along my back, so if I turned over, it would kind of roll me back. They told me it was fine to sleep on my right side, but not my left. And at the end of 2 weeks, I had kind of gotten used to doing that anyway. Let's go with Magnifique. Or Magnifique. It's not spelled Magnifique, it's spelled Magnifique, but we'll see. Ooh, that's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. But I went back for my 2-week checkup. Dr. Charles looked at me, said that everything was fine. I asked him about the distortion in the vision in this eye because my eye was really distorted. I couldn't hardly see anything that I would look at with it. I mean, I had vision, which was hallelujah, but everything was wavy. He said that was perfectly normal, and he said that it would fade, and probably by the end of August I wouldn't have that distortion anymore. And he said he would see me in a month. Well, if you live anywhere near Memphis, Tennessee, you will probably remember that some bridge inspectors were looking at the I-40 bridge over the Mississippi River from Arkansas to Memphis and found severe structural problems that meant that that bridge had to be shut down immediately. I mean, there was even no river traffic allowed to go under it. There was no traffic allowed to drive over it whatsoever. Everything had to be done with drones. Well, to do that, this may have been a mistake, meant that everything had to go over what we around here refer to as the old bridge, which is the I-55 bridge. Traffic was backed up like nobody's business. Memphis is a major hub for east-west traffic going on I-40, going east-west, traffic I-55 going north-south for the entire United States of America. So it's always completely crazy anyway. The I-55 bridge is old. It only has 2 lanes, lots of trucks trying to get off of it at the end to take the, it's horrible. It's always been horrible. And After they shut down the I-40 bridge, it was worse than horrible. So my husband and I just decided we weren't going to deal with that. I'm actually going to be using some eyeliner because there's not a dark enough shade in this Lustre palette to give me what I want. I think this is L'Oreal. Need the scary side of the mirror. So I called the Charles Retina Institute and I told them I wasn't going to be coming back until they got that bridge fixed, because I wasn't going to sit in traffic for 7 hours like some people did just to get from West Memphis, Arkansas to Memphis, Tennessee, and then have to take detours all over Memphis just to get to Germantown where the Retina Institute is. Sorry, my camera died, so I did a little bit more work on my eye and used the shade Rare from that palette to kind of deepen things up. And I smoked out the bottom part of my eyelid. Anyway, I don't even remember where I was. Oh, the bridge. But anyway, I think they got it opened up about the end of the summer. I still have not been back to see Dr. Charles. And just on my very short acquaintance with him, he's going to be completely pissed off at me, so I'm scared to go. But I know I need to, because I do still have distortion in this eye a little bit, and I really do think that it's due to a cataract that I have developed, and they told me that that was a distinct possibility that I would develop a cataract with as a result of this surgery. My husband's had cataract surgery on both of his eyes, so I'm not worried about having cataract surgery. Okay, I'm going to use my Estee Lauder mascara, but I wore this to a funeral back in the summer, and I ended up with literal black splotches, big black splotches. Looks like I had splattered paint all over myself, but it's what I've got up here, and I don't want to go and get anything else because I'm afraid my camera will die again. Anyway, I'm going to have to go back and see Dr. Charles. I'll probably have to have cataract surgery when all this is said and done. But y'all, at least I've got my vision, and that is the most important thing. You can tell my vision's not great because I just got mascara all over my eyeshadow. The bad thing about my whole surgery thing was the way that I reacted to it in other areas of my life. Now, for the first 10 days after my surgery, of course, I couldn't cook. And we were in COVID, serious COVID lockdowns around here, and you know, thank God for DoorDash. However, I did not follow. I'm getting mascara all over myself. I look like a 3-year-old trying to put this on. Use DoorDash a lot, and since then I have not been eating the way that I'm supposed to be eating, and I know it, and I have gained, and I know you can tell, a whole lot of weight. I'm not happy with myself about it. I have absolutely no willpower whatsoever right now. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my blush brush. I don't know what's wrong with me. Not wanting to go back to eating the way that I usually do, which is I eat keto, or I did eat keto. But right now I have been eating carbs like there is absolutely no tomorrow, like they're going to be taken away from me forever if I don't eat them all right now. I feel horrible, and that's the main reason I eat keto. Not for the weight, but for the way it makes me feel. I have a chronic pain condition. Well, it's back now, and it was gone when I was eating keto. So I'm going to have to get back into that and get rid of the bad habits that I developed during those 10 days that I had just decided to make part of my life. That's not how they were supposed to be. It was just supposed to be butter bronzer. It was just supposed to be 10 days. And honestly, I could have eaten keto during those 10 days. I chose not to. I chose to eat the buns with the cheeseburgers. I chose to eat the cheesecake that came with my order as a dessert. I chose to do all those things, and now I'm kind of paying the price because none of my clothes fit anymore. I feel like crap, and I still haven't been back to see my eye doctor. Oh, this isn't the highlighter I wanted, but I'll use it. So hopefully I'll get back to my old self, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wait till I go back to my eye doctor and get my vision fixed to start filming again. I need to film. I like to film. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed connecting with you guys, and not filming has been kind of lonely. One thing about it is I have been able to get caught up on my writing, so my next book's coming along great. So there's a silver lining, besides having my vision. Okay, I'm going to be using Marc Jacobs Lippy in Sugar High. I think I'm going to use Sugar High. That'll look okay, I think. And lip liner that nobody makes anymore because it's made by Jordana. No, that doesn't work. That's Rockin' Rose. Let's try Tawny. Oh, Tawny's much better. Oh, by the way, I had Buxom White Russian on my lips the whole time to kind of plump them up and get them ready. But there's the saga of my eye and why I haven't been here. Glad to be back. Glad to be playing with makeup again. And this is the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy. Anything that I put on my face that I didn't mention on camera, I will put in the description box below for you. And finally, my Jaclyn Cosmetics powder. This is the Bright Nut powder. I always use this as a finishing powder. I managed to get it everywhere, but big Real Techniques fluffy blush that don't want to come out of there. And then just kind of brighten everybody up. Bring it all together. But now that I'm back with you guys, maybe I'll feel a little bit more accountable with my food choices and my lifestyle choices. I'll get back to working out some more. And I will do all that good stuff in addition to catching up on my writing. But that's where I've been. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Again, if you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help, especially now that I've been gone so long. And share the video with your friends who are over 50, over 60, even over 70. I'm going to be 60 in January, so we're not just over 50, we're heading toward the over 60 as well. And I'd love to have you and your friends along. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.